today's video, I will be sharing everything I know when it comes to dealing with doorways. There should be things everyone can learn in this video. The first thing you want to do when faced with a door is to establish a split stack. A split stack is when at least one person is on either side of the door. On a closed door, this is quite simple as you only need to walk to either side of the door. Once you are here, there's an important concept you must be aware of, known as attack the crack. Whichever side will see first light into the room is attacking the crack. On a push door, this will be the hinge side. On a pull door, it is the handle side. The construction of the handle or the placement of the door hinges can quickly inform you as to how the door opens. If you are holding security on a door, you want to position yourself to attack the crack in case the door opens from the other side. So once the orientation of the door is understood, the one attacking the crack will either signal or verbally tell the other person to open the door. It is the other person's responsibility to check and make sure nobody is exposed to the door opening. But before we address an open door, it is important to be aware of the apex of the angle, created in relation to your position and the edge of the doorway. That being said, you want to ensure that your sightline and gun orientation runs along the line which creates this angle. On a doorway, you have two apexes to be aware of. If you do not adhere to this concept, you will expose yourself to deeper angles before you can address them. Once the door is open, both operators want to be standing at the shallowest angle they can while still being able to see inside of the room. If we stand here and the door opens, this engagement becomes a coin flip as to who lives and dies. If we take this shallow angle and slowly pie it out, we will be able to make out people's outlines before they see us, changing the interaction from a coin flip into an unfair exchange in our favor. Returning back to our example, the first person to do their pie will be the one who is attacking the crack. After he clears to the 90 degrees, he will return to the shallow angle and the other person will do the same. It is not wise to go at the same time. If a threat pops up in the center of the room from behind an object, the shock of the interaction can cause both operators to fight each other to try and address the center threat. If this happens, it can cause enough confusion for the enemy to win the fight. This has happened to me in-game, and there are accounts of people dying in the SEAL teams. Once both pies are conducted, you can see that a large portion of the room has been cleared. The next step is to secure the hard corners. It is advised they cross into the room. Since each person has more knowledge on their side of the room, it makes less sense for them to drop what they know to clear what they don't know. Up until this point, we have been discussing what to do in a double stack. But if there's not enough space on the other side of the doorway, it doesn't make sense for somebody to stand here. So in this situation, it would be better to use a single stack. A single stack is when you have both operators on the same side of the doorway. Squeeze. When entering a room using the single stack, the first man is going to operate the doorway and also be the first one to pie across. When pieing across, the second man needs to be mindful of the spacing between him and the first man. If the first man decides that he needs to bail out, he's going to be moving towards the second man, and a collision can happen. It is for this reason that the second man needs to give the first man adequate space in order to pie across the doorway. However, this does create a problem. As the first man pies across, if there is dead space on both sides of the room, there will be a floating angle created on the opposite side of the room. It is for that reason that the second man does have to address the room at some point. The best time to do this is when the first man has reached past 90 degrees of the threshold. The reason for this is that if he needs to bail out, his closest side is going to be the far side, which alleviates that potential clash between both operators. And alternatively, if there really is no space on the other side, there should be enough space in between them so that the second man can react to the first man running back. Open doorways are largely tackled in the same way as closed doors, minus the need to operate a door. There are a few situations where open doorways need to be tackled differently. However, to cover those, we would need to dive into other topics to fully understand those considerations. So I will leave those instances for later videos. I tried to cram a ton of information in this video. If you have enjoyed it, hit that like button. If you learned anything new, tell me about it in the comments. If you're interested to learn more, Subscribe to keep up with my future videos, where I will be going into other topics. Thank you for clicking on the video, and I hope you have a good one.